Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel and the Dragon Suplex Podcasting Network as I check the microphone, making sure I'm speaking into it clearly and perfectly for you guys. Going into this weekend of wrestling, I had a busy week at work. I wasn't able to watch too much wrestling. I watched a lot of wrestling on Monday morning, or Monday afternoon rather, and then throughout the day today on Tuesday I watched Crown Jewel. I watched New Japan Pro Wrestling show on November the 5th. I kept up with Raw, and I did that all for you guys. Hopefully you guys did the same, and you can let me know your opinions in the comments below on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling, or hit me up, on Facebook, Jacob Grondy, or on Instagram at Running Down a Dream, where I don't just talk about wrestling on there. I also post my day-to-day running. I post about that's pretty much it, just running and wrestling. And just little things that I see throughout my life. So let me get into it. I think I'm rambling here, but I do want to talk about Crown Jewel. Titus O'Neil video package kicking things off. The fireworks to kick off the show were beyond WrestleMania level. The drones making the pictures in the sky like $1 billion light bright was amazing. Just the pageantry and spectacle of Crown Jewel. I mean, you got to bring it up if you're talking about the show, if you're reviewing the show. Of course, it's all because of, some sketchy dealings and everything like that. But as far as the spectacle and big fight feel of the show, it definitely added to that is in the body of a wrestling entertainment show. The Survivor Series War Games video package was good too. Like I have said before, the thing that WWE does better than any other company that separates WWE from every other wrestling promotion in the world is the production. It really helps make things feel big. The filming, everything just is great. These video packages, top notch every time. I also thought it helped having, Logan Paul show up to the building, the Bloodline show up to the building. That kind of added to the big deal, the spectacle of everything as well. Bray Wyatt coming out, that was epic. But the promo was too similar to the other promos he has cut. This is, the story needs to kind of get going here. Uncle Howdy telling him he's lying is cool. Nice little foreshadowing for what we're about to see. Him going back to like a Fiend-like character is cool. But it seems like it's getting a little stagnant. He came back at Extreme Rules, which was on October 8th. And that's all you can really say about what's going on for about a month now, as he came back. And then there's this guy, Uncle Howdy, as my neighbors are talking and walking their dogs. They're pretty excited about Bray Wyatt. But me, I need to see a little bit more if I'm going to get as into it as I was when they were doing the kind of, QR code kind of clue type of deal. But with that said, let's break down every single match from Crown Jewel from worst to first. All 8 big matches, starting with number 8, Judgment Day versus the OC. There was so much talk with what was going to happen in this match with Carl Anderson and the Never title. And what resulted in all this talk and all this hype were the 2 worst matches on either respective show. We'll get into what New Japan did in a little bit, but I mean, Carl Anderson looked pretty weak here. He's the weak link on his team. AJ over in Riyadh, though. Judgment Day cutting the ring in half. Anderson in trouble. AJ and Finn locking up, which was pretty cool. Lamest Tower of Doom spot ever. Most of them just kind of fell back for no reason at all. I mean, a lot of WWE fans, sold WWE fans, they only watch WWE, get on Twitter and talk bad about AEW, how there's a bunch of people standing around until they get jumped on. Well, here there was a bunch of guys standing around with guys on their shoulders who fell back for no reason. So, you gotta point that out when that happens. Coup de grace from Finn, 1, 2, 3. The Judgment Day get the victory. Number 7 out of 8, Braun Strowman versus Omos. Test of strength in the early going. Strowman can't pick up Omos, but Omos can scoop slam Braun no problem. Omos stops Braun running at full speed, but Braun eventually just powers up and power slams him. 1, 2, 3. It was short, nothing wrong with it. I did expect a little more, but then as the match went on, I was like, what was I expecting? It is an Omos match, and once you slam Omos like that, I don't know really what else you can do with him. He's been around for a year now, maybe over a year. Definitely over a year, because he's been a part of 2 WrestleManias, right? The Tampa one and the Dallas one. So I don't really know what you do with him now. You kind of have to start jobbing him out, and he can be part of 3 or 4 WrestleManias and then do the big guy Comic-Con convention circuit until he dies. Not saying that he's going to die soon, just saying he's got a spot for life doing these conventions. I mean, Great Khali you still see out there signing autographs and stuff like that. Number 6 out of 8, Asuka and Bliss versus Damage Control. All the ladies wearing full body suits here. Alexa Bliss can pull it off very well. Bliss also pulled off a Code Red very well. 1, 2, Io kicks out. Crazy double suplex spot. Ref distracted. Nikki Cross interferes. 1, 2, 3. Damage Control gets the victory. Number 5 out of 8. Lashley versus Lesnar. I was looking forward to this match, probably the most out of all the matches here. But when the show kicked off, I mean, this, kicked off with this match. This was the curtain jerker for the whole show. As MJF says, this match is mid. So much pyro for these entrances. Lashley attacks Brock before the bell, spears him through the barricade, spears him in the inside as the match starts. 1, 2, Brock kicks out. Brock hits a suplex in F5. Bobby Lashley kicks out. Bobby goes for the hurt lock. Brock Lesnar just kind of falls back and ends up pinning Lashley. 1, 2, 3. Lesnar steals one. Yeah, just like I said, I was looking forward to this match more than ever. I was hyping it up, comparing it to past Mania matches, saying it might be like a sleeper pick for match of the year, and it was just right here in the middle of this card. Number 4, Drew versus Cross in the cage match. We get a Michinoku driver from Drew McIntyre. Big running knee by Cross. Scarlett distracts. Huge suplex from the top, and that's what made, I think, Scarlett lock the door. Or it kind of opens the door, and I thought she was going to do a China Mick Foley spot here, just slamming the door right on Drew's face, but she ends up macing Drew McIntyre, macing the referee. Drew locks in a blind ankle lock. Scarlett locks the cage again. This is what happens, but that kind of screws up her man here, because Cross can't get out. He can't climb the cage. His ankle is damaged, but he's trying to sneak out. Scarlett's got the door locked. She's fiddling with the keys, finally unlocks it, but that whole time, Drew's climbing the cage. He gets out. This was a way better match than Extreme Rules. I can see a rubber match at Survivor Series. Unlike Brock and Bobby, I wasn't looking forward to this match, and I ended up enjoying it. Number 3 out of 8, the Usos and the Brawling Brutes. This show is very well paced. The final 3 matches, I'm just going to say, are the final 3 ranked matches here. So that just kind of shows you that they built this show real nicely. The WWE shows legit have like a great pace the entire time for about a year and a half now, I would say. We want Sammy chants from the crowd. Hot tag from Holland. Can't put the Usos away. Double splash from both Usos. 1, 2, Holland breaks it up. Holland with the white noise, just like Sheamus, his fallen comrade. 1, 2, Usos kick out. 1D off the second rope. 1, 2, 3. The Usos get the victory. And number 2, a match that I wasn't looking forward to, but it ended up being pretty good. The last woman standing match, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. This match had a very ridiculous nature to it. Singapore canes, chairs, ladders, and tables all brought up and set out in the early going. all Bayley until Bianca starts whooping her ass up the top of the ramp. And then when they're on the top of the ramp, this is where it gets crazy. Bayley puts Belair in a box at one point and then gets a golf cart trying to, pull an Omega versus Sammy Guevara at Stadium Stampede type of thing. But they go back into the ring, and then they just have a great match here. They pile on some chairs. Bianca goes for a 450. Bayley moves. She goes splat on the pile of chairs. KOD onto a chair. This looked nasty. Then Belair puts Bayley in between like the ladder, like the two rungs of a ladder, and slides the ladder to underneath the first turnbuckle. So Bayley can't get out, and Bianca ends up winning the last woman standing match, retaining her title. It was an okay, fun show with an exorbitant amount of extravagance, but then the main event happened. I feel like the main event was really, really good. It was a one-match show, kind of. Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. The video package got me hype, and Logan Paul got injured during this match. He said he got injured about midway through, but I would say the whole match is good. He's going to be out. It looks like they said like 6 to 9 months. Hopefully he doesn't have an ACL tear. They're looking into it, but he definitely just has a fucked up leg. We'll just say that. Logan Paul comes in on a crane. Roman just walks down there. Crowd was hyped for this match more so than any other match. Big fight feel in Riyadh for sure. Logan goes after the tribal chief and kind of surprises him a little bit. Gets the better of him. So, Roman Reigns had to regroup on the outside, taking Riyadh to Larry Land. Larry Zbyszko in 1989 was Roman Reigns here in 2022. Logan Paul then hits a buckshot lariat, a crazy-looking springboard countered by Roman Reigns with a punch. And then out of nowhere, this really cool drone shot when Roman Reigns had Paul in a headlock, kind of circling the whole crowd and everything. This was really cool. Logan hits a blockbuster, a crossbody, a standing moonsault. Roman Reigns hits a rock bottom 1-2. Logan kicks out. Superman punch by Logan Paul 1-2. Roman kicks out. Logan Paul hits a selfie cross body through an announce table. Tyler Breeze, eat your heart out. I think he just did your gimmick better than you could ever do. Logan Paul podcast buddies get in the ring, and this was really bad here. This almost made me put the ladies last man standing match above this match. These untrained jackoffs flopping around like they're fifth graders on a trampoline. We're trying to have a WWE main event here. The Usos kicked their asses, and then complete with music, Titantron and graphics, Jake Paul comes out, punches out the Usos. Logan Paul dives on the Usos. This was after he was injured, apparently. Frog splash to Roman after he was injured, apparently. 1-2, Roman kicks out. Solo Sikoa comes out. Jake Paul and him have a sort of pull apart that kind of, put them all at bay. I don't know about you guys, but if Logan Paul is healthy, I want to see the Paul brothers versus the Usos at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns Superman punch, spear, 1-2-3. The tribal chief gets the victory. This was a great show, or not a great show, a fun show with a great main event. Just like kind of like the old school WrestleManias. Like if you watch like WrestleMania 8 through like 12, it kind of feels like this. It's like a big show. And, it builds to a big main event, and there's, some stars being made throughout. Raw didn't see much like crossover with Crown Jewel. I was really expecting a little bit more. Raw really hyping up the New Day versus the Usos tag match. You got me, I'll watch it. Fair enough. Twist my arm, why don't you? Damage Control with Nikki Cross in a War Games match with Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Belair. Mia Yim returns to even the odds with the Judgment Day and the OC storyline. Mia Yim kind of crosses the line for me. AEW did this a lot in 2021 and into 2022 where there was just so many debuting, or in this case returning wrestlers coming back, that the story ended up being, that there's so many people coming back, not who's returning. And the spotlight should have been kind of more on Mia Yim, but, when you have Bray Wyatt, Karrion Kross, Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis, there's tons, Emma, so many wrestlers, Nikki Cross, every week there's someone returning. And I get it. They're trying to right their wrongs from firing over 100 people during the pandemic, but just bringing them back week after week is just kind of diminishing everyone you are bringing back. You kind of forget that, was Dexter Lumis even on this show? You're kind of forgetting, that Cross was like still new, and you still got to put him over and everything like that. Solo Sikoa still new. There's so many wrestlers that they got to build that I think Mia Yim's going to get lost in the cracks here. I bet most people don't even remember that Emma's back, and that was even like less than a week ago, or like a week and a half ago. But hey, I'm being nitpicky here. If the only problem you have on a wrestling show is that there's too many cool debuting wrestlers, I bet it's a pretty good wrestling show. The biggest story of this show, though, has got to be the U.S. title situation. You had Shelton and Theory having a good match, Lashley jumping Ali, all building to Seth coming out and challenging somebody in the back. Bobby Lashley comes out, attacks Rollins. Theory thinks it's a good idea to pick the bones from Rollins, so he cashes in, hits the A-Town, 1-2. Bobby pulls the ref out and attacks Theory. Rollins then pins Theory. Unsuccessful cash-in attempt when you're trying to cash in for the U.S. title. Damn, the Theory push is officially done. This guy started out the year so hot on such a big forward momentum. We all know the old man had to retire for the allegations, and now he's just a trivia question. Who cashed in unsuccessfully for the U.S. Championship? And that answer is going to be Austin Theory, or just Theory. I don't even know if he's gotten his full name back. I know they cut his name in half at one point. This was an okay edition of Raw, but it does feel like the bloom is off the rose for this new Triple H era. But hey, man, it's Monday night. What else are us wrestling fans going to do? We watch wrestling. And I personally watch a lot of Japanese wrestling. I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. So much talk about this never title match that, like I said, ended up, resulting in a 6-man tag and a Hikuleo versus Yujiro Takahashi match, not for any title. The Tokyo Pimp himself has made his way onto the main card, 1/3 of the never 6-man tag champions in a singles match. Sho, a member of House of Torture, attacks Leo before the bell. Big boot to both men. Hikuleo is firing up, double clothesline, then the bell rings. Power slam, choke slam, 1, 2, 3. Hikuleo gets the victory. So the number one contender here for the never openweight title looked a lot stronger than the champion here, not losing in a 6-man tag. But both matches were the worst match on either show for both companies. I don't know what the hell is going to happen here. Muta and Nakamura wrestling for Noah strangely makes me think that we might get Carl Anderson at one point wrestling Hikuleo. I don't know, dangle that odd carrot in front of my face, and I will walk down the path wherever you want me to go. Ren Narita versus Sonata for one of the semifinal matches in the television tournament. Still pissed about how bad that Sonata versus Kenta match was. Sonata in control early, not one but two Paradise Locks, Cobra Twist by Ren Narita, Moonsault by Sonata. Ren Narita gets his knees up, 1-2, Sonata kicks out. Ren can't put away Sonata. Under a minute left because there's only 15 minutes in these television title matches. Bridging suplex, 1, 2, 3. Ren Narita gets the victory and moves on to the finals, where he wrestles the winner of Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr. There's a lot of tomfoolery here in the early going here. Young Lion dressed up as Zack Sabre Jr., just like in the G1. Dick Togo tries to take him out. Then another Young Lion dressed up as Zack Sabre Jr. comes out with a hat that says, "I am also Zack Sabre Jr." Somehow that fooled Dick Togo. Zack Sabre Jr. snuck in behind Evil, went for a pin, almost got the victory. Zack Sabre Jr. throws Evil into the ringside announcing table at one point. Evil goes for an everything is evil. Zack counters 1, 2, 3. We have Zack Sabre Jr., the best technician in New Japan Pro Wrestling, versus the strongest Young Lion for the television championship. Sign me up. This is going to be good, and it's going to be going on at the Tokyo Dome. They got 2 months to hype this match up. Another great match was FTR versus the Great Khan and Jeff Cobb of the United Empire. FTR is the tag team of the year. I don't care how long the Usos have had these titles. FTR has had every other title. Cool to see FTR in New Japan. Khan in control and goes to the floor. Dax in trouble. Wheeler gets a hot tag and hits Cobb with a suplex. Much larger guy getting lifted up there. They hit a very sloppy, like, Doomsday Bulldog. Pin gets broken up by O'Khan. All hell breaks loose. FTR with the old Power and Glory finisher from the WWF in the 80s. This was kind of cool. FTR is kind of like Kirby on Super Smash Brothers. They're just eating up all the classic tag teams and doing their finishers in their matches. Big Rig 1, 2, 3. FTR retains the titles. Unlike Crown Jewel, this was not a one-match show, but like Crown Jewel, it had an amazing main event. Will Ospreay versus Naito for the IWGP US title. Will Ospreay is doing something that no, I would say IWGP US champion has done. Not Juice Robinson, not Cody Rhodes, not Kenny Omega, and it's make this title feel like a main event title. Naito going after the neck of Ospreay. Ospreay going in control. Naito still goes for the neck. Both men down at the 20-minute mark. Cutter, both men down again. Ospreay somehow comes up with a way to get the pin, just laying over Naito. 1, 2. Naito kicks out at the 25-minute mark. Naito goes for a Destino, countered into a sit-down powerbomb. 1, 2. Naito kicks out again. Esperanza, Destino. 1, 2. Ospreay kicks out. Stormbreaker, reverse into a Destino. 1, 2. Ospreay kicks out again. Hidden Blade, not once but twice. 1, 2. Naito kicks out. Stormbreaker. 1, 2, 3. Ospreay gets the victory here. This was great. A lot of kickouts at the early going, in the latter half of this match, but man, I was already hooked. There's nothing like a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event in all of wrestling. I know I said that WWE does, their video production is what sets them apart. AEW tries to have matches like this, but for some reason it doesn't hook me as like a New Japan match does. I don't know what it is. I love AEW, but these big fight feels of these main event matches for New Japan are unlike anything in wrestling. After Ospreay is done, he puts an open challenge out there, even hints at a forbidden door. Nothing happens. As he's about to leave, Shota Umino returns. The young lion back from excursion kind of has like a 80s power ballad meets the old anime Akira vibe. Comes out, hits the Death Rider to Ospreay. The significance of that is that Jon Moxley kind of took Shota Umino under his wing when he was a young lion. He went to Europe, he went to America, he came back to Japan, and he's now this crazy, like I just said, like 80s power ballad meets Akira guy. And he just attacked the U.S. champion. I think that's going to be the U.S. title match for Wrestle Kingdom. The Wrestle Kingdom card is shaping up. You got Jay White versus Okada. You got FTR is going to be in the mix. You got Will Ospreay versus Shota Umino. You got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. You got a lot of young guys being made here by guys who are already established. You got to love that shit. This Wrestle Kingdom card is already looking good. Maybe we'll get a Carl Anderson match. Who knows? But fly high. I'm out.